I would like to welcome all of you at our Solars meetup. So actually the possibility to meet you during employer branding events face-to-face is something that we miss a lot at Solars Consulting. And that's why we decided to organize some online meetings, and Solars meetup is one of them. Last time we talked a bit more about Agile in our organization, and today you will have the possibility to get some more information about our company, projects, and teams, but more details will come in a few minutes. My name is Anna Śledź. I'm at Solars Consulting from 2017. I belong to people team, which means that I take care of recruitment processes, onboarding processes, employer branding events. And on the daily basis, you can meet me at Poznań office. But of course, I'm here today with my colleagues, Emil Bojar from business team and Tomasz Troski from IT team. And I would like to now pass the voice firstly to Emil.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emil, and I'm part of our business team at Solars, and I've been working in Solars for more than 7 years now. And I work mostly as a project manager nowadays, but I used to work as Scrum Master and business analyst before that. Right now, I'm responsible for our research and development kind of a department within the organization. And also I am an active recruiter. So you might meet me on some of the recruitment interviews that we are organizing during your future application, hopefully. And off to Tomasz.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tomek Turowski. I'm an IT manager at Solars, over 13 years in Solars. Started as a developer, conducted many different projects in many different countries, learned different technologies and systems. And currently I'm overseeing some of our engagements, mostly in US, and leading some development projects. Thanks. Back to Anya.
Okay, so let's have a quick look on the agenda that we prepared for you. So we will start with a small introduction by Emil about Solars and what we actually do here. Then we will move to our projects, external projects. Then we will discuss also internal projects and our products. Then we will also share some more details about how do we work on a daily basis. And we will introduce you our IT teams and business team. Then we will also give you some tips about the recruitment process. So who are we looking for to join Solars? And also we'll explain you how our recruitment processes look like. We will finish with Q&A session. So after the presentation, but also during the presentation, if you have some questions, please feel free in Q&A chat box. And after the official part, the presentation part, we will answer as many of them as possible. I will also use this opportunity now to ask you to fulfill a very short survey that I will send you now in our chat group. So it only takes around 3 minutes to fill it in. So I would ask you for support in this topic. I think we can officially start the introduction about Solars. So Emil, please continue.
Hello again. So what is Solars? Solars is a consulting company. It means that we are providing services and building products for our customers. And you as a future Solars would be working as part of a project, usually as a part of a project team, working to help financial institutions digitalize and adapt to new technologies. And maybe starting with what we are and how we are a kind of a mid-sized consulting company. We are around 600 business IT specialists. We are pretty focused because most of our projects are in financial sector, especially P&C insurance and commercial banks. And we've worked with over 100 of them. So they belong to 80 different financial groups, and we worked with them to deliver over 250 projects in 30 different countries, some of those remotely, as this seems to be more of a norm now. on the remote work. And we are also heavily investing internally, both time and money, into research and development. So we are trying to create our own solutions, our own products that we could offer to our customers. And that's a kind of a short intro. And what differentiates us from others, from other consulting companies, we believe. Firstly, we are very focused and selective about how we work and with whom we work. We are focused on financial sector. So our customers might be banks, might be insurance companies, but if you are working with Solars, you know as a customer that people you'll be working with will have years of experience doing projects exactly for banks or insurance companies, and not, for example, a travel agency or let's say energy company. We are open, we cooperate with our customers. A kind of a cooperation is a very important word for us at Solars, because we believe in long-term cooperation. We believe in actually working on the projects together with our customers. So very rarely we are doing the projects alone. We always involve our customers into how we're doing the project and what will be the results. And we want to encourage kind of a mixed teams of specialists. So we could learn something from our customers, but our customers can learn also something from us. And this is the way we want to create business value. There's another kind of a keyword for Solars is business value, because we are not focused on delivering projects or doing implementation work. We are focused on actually delivering the change and the changes needed in the organizations of our clients. So this can be software, but can be also more on a processes organization side. And we have a kind of a battle-proven framework for delivery. So how to do large complex IT projects. And this is based on our experience from a few hundred such projects during the last 10 years. The thing here is that for Solars, we are mostly focused on Europe right now. So our strategic countries, so countries we do most projects, we actively are looking for projects, are Germany, France, United Kingdom, and Nordics. Occasionally, we also do projects in other countries, but around 2 years ago, we decided also to open an office in Tokyo. So we have an office in Tokyo, in Cologne, in Germany, and 3 offices at this point in Poland. Occasionally, we might be doing also projects outside of that. We might be doing projects in, for example, United States or Canada. Some of those would be remote, some of those would be on-site with our customers. And what kind of projects we do as Solars? We are often called an implementation consulting company or solution integrator. This means that most of our projects are related to, in one way or another, doing IT changes and advising with IT and implementation of different solutions for our customers. And those solutions that we are kind of an experts in are core systems. So large key systems that are working in the core of a financial sector company, like policy system or claim system in an insurance company. But we are also working through a few other, let's say, skills or services that we can offer around target architecture, around optimizing this kind of an architecture for a company, migrating large sets of data, testing different applications, auditing projects. We are also quite advanced at DevOps and cloud adoption. So we advise also in this kind of an area. And we're also creating our own services and products around that we'll talk a bit more later on today. And our team, basically, everyone in Solars is part of one of the 4 core teams in Solars. One of it is business consulting. Second is software development. There's also support teams and IT administration. And for this kind of a webinar, we wanted to focus especially on business consulting and software development, because those 2 teams can probably mean around 80–85% of the people in the company, and also because those are the most people doing the work for our customers and actually projects work that we do. And I think Tomasz now will be telling you a bit more about something we call external projects, or core kind of a activity that we do at Solars.
Thanks, Emil. Yes, so first let me explain you what external project means in Solars. So this is a kind of a project we do for a customer based on the contract we have with customer, based on the requirements and goals that customer has. With that project, we either deliver services or a product. So in short words, it's a project for a customer, not something we do internally. And I'll start with explaining and telling you more about our partners. Can I get next slide, Emil? Thanks. So most of the projects we do are related to software that is delivered by our external partners. And the first partner I'll tell you about is our main partner, the biggest partner for us. It's because we do most of the projects related to implementation of their software. So Guidewire, that's a US-based company. They deliver a suite of insurance products for insurance company, core insurance platform, and we do implementation of that platform at our customers. Guidewire has many development centers around the world, including one in Krakow. So you may look for it. And in terms of our partnership with Guidewire, it started in 2011. We have a proven record of partnership with Guidewire, delivering more than 40 successful implementations. We have the biggest team in Europe of certified and experienced professionals, both IT and business. And we develop Guidewire competence internally, not only on external projects. We develop tools, we develop accelerators to support our projects. We have a solution for static code analysis. We implemented solution for test automation of the user interface. So we develop big in this area. As I mentioned, most of the projects we do, most of the implementation projects we conduct are related to this customer. So this is this partner. So this is important to us. And let me relate to 3 implementations we did with Guidewire for better understanding how the project looked like. And I would like to start with our first Guidewire project. It was conducted for PZU together with PZU. It was done started in 2011, just after we started partnering with Guidewire. It was and still is the biggest core system implementation project in Central and Eastern Europe. The team involved in that project was quite big. It was over 500 professionals in total. 50 of them were from Solars. It wasn't just core system implementation. It was also an agile transformation, because at that time PZU was mostly waterfall organization. So this was a big challenge. Entire program took, I think, a little over 5 years, but PZU managed to turn off their old legacy system. So this is also always a challenge for insurance company. This is not easy. Yeah, that's it, I guess, for PZU. The second one I would like to tell you about is Basler, Germany. This is ongoing project. This is being led by Solars. We have even bigger team there. It's 65 professionals, but the entire team is 150, so slightly smaller than PZU. The program will take 2 years, so we'll finish it next year. What's difficult on that project is that it's being led in German, and not entire team involved in that project speaks German language. So what we do, besides documenting it in German, we also translate it to English. So every document is being translated. This is additional work we do, but this was proven as necessary and worth doing. And yes, and the third one I would like to tell you about is AXA Direct Japan. It was a project conducted in Tokyo, in Japan. It was another AXA project we did. We worked with AXA before in Belgium. We currently work with AXA in France and in Poland. So we have a good relationship with the AXA group. And this project was challenging because we had to learn Japanese culture. We had to adjust to the way of conducting projects in Japan. We had to learn how to communicate with Japanese. It's very important because not understanding their culture, it's easy to insult them simply by challenging business requirements or discussing whatever needs to be discussed on the project. And yes, can I have the next slide, please? Thanks. Guidewire is not the only partner of insurance platform. We partner with multiple other software companies in terms of insurance core platforms. That's TIA, Danish TIA, and the Romanian Fadata. We also have a partnership with Moody's Analytics. This is risk assessment and scoring software. Moody's Analytics is part of Moody's group, of which Moody's rating agency is also part of. You may have heard of Moody's rating agency. And Alfresco, this is a document management system that helps produce and store documents in business. Those are not the only partners, but probably the main ones beside the Guidewire. And they are built with different technologies. So in Solars we also have a different technology stack experience with over 150 professionals skilled in those systems and technologies that they are building. We have a proven track record of delivering projects with those systems, over 100 projects, mostly in the European Union and the United States, but also in Mozambique, for example. And we always focus on quality and business value. We have very good relationships with our partners and our customers. That's why we conduct so many projects. That's why we do projects within the same groups. Yes, thank you. Back to you, Emil.
Thank you, Tomek. So I'll tell you now, maybe I'll tell you about a different kind of projects that we are doing in Solars. This is something we call internal projects. And the kind of a lion's share of this are the products and solutions that we are developing internally. And first and foremost of those would be Rife. And Rife is a kind of an answer to the problem we saw on the market a few years back. And we saw that basically a lot of insurance companies that are trying to do especially business assurance line of business want and need to be able to quickly react to market conditions. So if situation is changing, you need to be able to adjust their models and their products very quickly. And this is very hard on usual systems because of hard-coded business logic and a lot of additional work needed to be doing this. We also saw that among multiple insurers, there's a problem to have a kind of a common view of a customer and common view of what you are doing across different lines of business. So, for example, the process of selling and how sales look for a motor insurance might be completely different than and disjointed from how you are doing property insurance. In this case, for example, real estate one. And this is blocked by siloed product-centric architecture and old-fashioned multiple backend systems. And we saw that some of our customers really want to be able to connect new partners to create so-called insurance platforms, which are kind of a buzzword in the insurance world right now. And this is very hard if your core systems are based on old technologies and you are using a lot of legacy systems again. So we kind of thought of a solution which we now call Rife, which is domain solution in this case. So you are able to connect data from different and processes from different core systems to quickly personalize and create new products and to support different channels, kind of an omni-channel approach to your customers with basically support machine learning models and to automate some applications. And overall, this gives you a superior kind of a customer experience. And it's not about just UI and the application being pretty to the user. It's more about also having modern architecture that allows you to scale up quickly and add new features easily and add new partners into your ecosystem as an insurance company very quickly. And this is already trusted by few insurers in Poland, and we are moving actually with an implementation of this solution in a large bank in Germany at this point, and we are already winning first awards with it. Outside of Rife, we are also developing few more kind of a focused products that support our kind of an implementation projects, and two of those are kind of a tailored to core systems and to Guidewire. First of it is Goku that Tomasz already mentioned. So this is our tool based on SonarQube for static code analysis. So it allows developers to see where they made mistakes in the code and which good practices were not followed when writing code for Guidewire. Why this is kind of an additional challenge? Because Guidewire is written in Gosu, which is not supported by base SonarQube, and we needed kind of an extension on our own. And this is the first of the tools. The second one would be called BATS. BATS is our business automation test suite. So this is a test suite we created also especially for core systems. It has a lot of preset steps and items that already work with a lot of with the key insurance systems like Guidewire. And it allows you to automate UI testing also as a business user, because it's very easy to write new tests, even not knowing how to write code or write tests in, for example, Selenium. And there's also a kind of a rating engine that we created to support German market, especially because of their requirements of comparator websites. So if you are using a web page to compare quotes from different insurance companies, this website usually has to communicate with a lot of systems within those insurance companies, and there is a requirement for those systems on the insurance side to respond very quickly to a very large numbers of quotes from the comparator website. And this external rating engine allows you to do exactly that, to maintain this rapid response and under high workloads. And it can be easily maintained also, which is a kind of a challenge with rating engines. But this is a very theoretical and very kind of a product-oriented thinking. And you are probably here because you want to learn how the projects and external or internal projects look from a perspective of someone actually working on them, actually being inside of the company. And there are some differences, actually. And maybe let's start with for whom the project is being done. So external project has a kind of a direct client. There is a single client for whom we have a contract to deliver something or to work with a solution, to create a solution or implement software. Or internal projects, we work for internal stakeholders. And in some cases, that might be our partners, it might be our projects that we do for our customers. It might be specific other internal needs. For example, our own internal time tracking solution and project management solution that we use inside the company has been internally developed. Another thing is that assignment stability, so how long you can expect to stay on the team, might also vary. And on external projects, this is depending on the project needs. So we are actively looking at who is assigned to which project and how he can and how he can be of most use to those projects. So you might be changing projects, you might be traveling to different projects, and on the internal projects, usually the kind of an assignment is more of a longer term one. So you are just developing this one product for a longer time, and you instead of working with different customers. Project methodology differs, but the difference here is more, I would say, I would call it more subtle because with external projects we are strongly pushing for Agile and Scrum because this is our preferred way of working, but we need to adjust to some of the processes and how our clients are doing projects. If we want to get them involved, if you want them to be part of it, and if you want to have a kind of a common understanding of the project goals, we need to work in kind of the same approach and have no barriers between each other. This means that sometimes we do projects with elements of waterfall. On internal projects, this doesn't happen. All our internal teams are agile, are working in either Scrum, Kanban, and we use elements of Lean Startup when doing product development. On technology side, again, on external projects, those might be dictated by a specific solution with different technology stack that we're implementing and the client and their needs. So usually the usual technologies would be Java, Gosu, I mentioned for Guidewire, .NET, Angular, and in internal projects, it might be more varied because we also do Java, but also Kotlin, R, Postgres, React, .NET. And maybe moving on to kind of a daily life on a project, external projects might mean business travel. So we are consultants, we like to work with our customers face-to-face, obviously not at this time, specifically because of the current circumstances, but in kind of a longer term, we expect to be able again to fly to our customers, to meet with them face-to-face and to work together side by side. And this, especially on early stages of some of our projects, might mean mobility of up to 70% for some people, or even relocating to a different country. This is something we are also supporting. On internal projects, the mobility is usually not needed. We usually can stay and work from one single Solars office. We might do some business trips to different offices to meet with your colleagues in there. Kind of the main challenges for external projects are firstly implementation timeline, because this is based off our negotiation with our customers and their internal plans. So sometimes the timelines are very tricky to manage and very tricky to adapt to. The requirements might change. So usually you know what you are trying to implement, not necessarily you know all the details that are needed, and there might be changes because we want to be able to adjust to the current business need, not the business need that was communicated 2 years earlier, for example. And the project complexity. Those are large projects, large implementations that might mean a few hundred people working for them for a year or two. This means hundreds of integrations. Sometimes this means lots of data. This means multiple project teams working at the same time on the same solution. On internal projects, usually the projects are a bit smaller, but you don't have the roadmap given to you. There is no kind of a large scale plan that you can get upfront because you need to manage your own products. You need to make your own business decisions. What are you investing in? What kind of features you are adding? So there might be more changing of the priorities, and even some products might be decided unprofitable and killed off or not useful to our customers. And this is something you need to deal with if you are working on kind of an internal project that we at one point or another might decide that we are changing our focus. Other thing is that while external projects use well-known technologies, well-known solutions where there's a lot of knowledge to base your decisions on, in developing internal projects, you will be often a pioneer in a new technology or a new topic no one has tried before in the company. So it's a bit of a challenge. And maybe a few more words about how we work as a company as a whole. So we are a project-based company, and we work in agile projects. And almost everyone in our business and IT team is assigned to a single project team that he's working on with a single customer. And internally, the team works in agile. So you will have the usual bunch up everything that's needed into a product backlog elaborate on it, work it out into a single user stories level for the next sprint, create a sprint backlog out of it together with a product owner, then have the daily scrum, have the retrospective, and have this kind of recurring iterative method of development every with a 2-week sprints usually for us. And what is important for us is this collaboration that I mentioned on one of the previous slides. We want to have the right mix of people, cross-skilled, cross-competence teams that can work and have a strong IT skills and being able to deliver advanced solutions, but also good understanding of the insurance business, of the processes, of the business cases, of our underlying way of how the customer works, because we want to deliver something that will be valuable in the end and not just a solution. And we work as a single project team. So you are not working as a single expert with Solars. You are not being leased to another company. You are part of a team. And we also are very heavily focused on knowledge transfer. We want our customers to learn from us. We want to learn from our customers. We want to work side by side with professionals with different skill levels and skill sets. So you will be able to learn, basically. And moving on, I think a bit about how we do about Solar's delivery model. I cannot go into too much details because this would take the presentation on its own, but in short, this is a kind of approach to every different phase of a large IT project or large change that we want to do with our customers, the organization. And this starts with target operating model definition. So defining how the processes, what are the key elements, what are the key items that will be needed by the customer to in their future approach to how they will be doing business, and this kind of a conceptual level. So we help as a kind of an advisors there. We help also with vendor selection. So we compare different systems, different solutions that they can use for the problems to meet their criteria. And then we run proofs of concepts and inceptions. Inception is kind of a preparation phase for the project where we do a lot of research. We'll do a lot of initial work on the project to be able to prepare to the actual iterative work during the delivery phase of the project. And after this sprints of this delivery project, we move into a kind of a high point of the whole project, which is go live. And this is kind of the way that everything is getting proven. So by go live, we mean the application going live and being used by the actual business users for customers for their daily work. And then you need to maintain those systems and upgrade them from time to time. And we are also supporting our customers in that. And I think now we'll move with Tomek to a bit of a skills and what the part of the work on our project's IT team does.
Thanks, Emil. Yes, so what does IT team do on the project? Can you go to the next slide? So what's important is that coding is not the only part of IT team responsibilities. It's definitely the main part of work, but it's not the only part. We need to make sure before we start doing something, we need to make sure that we will do the correct thing. So what is important is to design solution based on business requirements and system capabilities. So it's not only functional requirements, but also non-functional, like performance or security. We need to consider system capabilities. So what's possible, what is already there, what's missing, how to address the gap in the system. IT also needs to challenge the business, because business mostly focuses on business processes, focuses on how the end user will use the system. But IT needs to make sure that the solution is optimal, that the things that are happening inside the system are happening in the right moment for the right amount of time. IT acts as experts in design, architecture, and development. We prepare designs, we review designs. We need to make sure that the target architecture is optimal. Again, that the integrations between systems are as they should be, performant, secure, in right places. And of course, development, we usually share our knowledge with customer, because project teams are usually built from customer team and from Solars team. So agile teams are usually mixed with different companies. Of course, implementing source code changes, writing unit tests, that's the main part. But the development team is also involved in development process, as I mentioned, designs, but also code reviews. Needs to understand branching strategy, the process of user stories and bug processing. IT team also facilitates technical workshops supporting business team during inception, during other meetings. IT is supporting offer preparation, pre-sale activities, new business activities. We take part in workshops. We prepare parts of the offer, technical parts of the offers. IT team is implementing proof of concepts to make sure that to assess the solution, if it's right solution, if it's possible solution. Okay, next slide, please. IT roles on the project. This split is very general, but developer is a part of the team member that is responsible mostly about implementing solution, doing changes in the system, doing code reviews. But as I said, challenging business, making sure that the requirements are correct, that it's possible to do changes in the system, that the estimates of the work are correct. This is also a big part of development team member work. Designer, architect, this is a more senior IT professional with experience with the system, with the technology, understanding architecture of the systems. His or her goal is to make sure that the target architecture is correct, to do reviews for the development team members, to make sure that the best practices and standards are followed. And IT manager is a person that leads IT activities on the project, make sure that the quality of deliverables is as expected, that continuous integration and continuous deployment processes are implemented correctly and are optimal. So overseeing work of the development team. And going to the career paths. Sorry, yes, thanks. We distinguish 3 career paths in IT: specialization, architecture, and project management. Every junior IT professional starts with a specialization path as a developer, needs to gain experience with projects, needs to learn the systems, needs to learn new technologies, best practices and standards. So it takes time for him to build his knowledge and experience. But at some point, there's a possibility to switch from the specialization path, where you focus on solving complex problems, to architectural path, where you focus more on a bigger picture, understanding the architecture, advising on architectural changes. And again, after some time, after gaining experience in this area, it's possible to switch to project management path, where there's even less focus on particular IT problems, technical problems, and more focus on leading, pointing directions, helping the team to develop. Okay, thanks, Emil. Back to you.
Okay, so I'll probably guide you through more of a business part of how our business team works on the projects. And the most important thing about the business team is that you will be working as a part of a project team, but your kind of a job will be to get the right things done. So you will be ones responsible for getting the right requirements and this into the format and the needs of the client into the format that will be understandable by the IT team, and that you will be able to implement in a system or in a solution. And so you'll be doing this by leading the requirements analysis and systems analysis. Sometimes it might be also related to analyzing some data and coordinating QA activities, for example, for the project's quality assurance testing. And in some time, you might get some more experience in a given area, and you will act as an expert in area of insurance processes or financial processes, how core systems work, how to test the core systems, or how to design user experience for the customers. You might be also supporting in this role the product owner. So we try on our projects that to have the product owner from the customer side. So we want our customer, our clients, to provide people who will be the product owner because of how product owner role works best. But those product owners sometimes are very inexperienced. So you, as an experienced consultant, will be supporting this product owner with your knowledge. You'll also lead the team in organization, coordination of activities, and just caring for the team. This is usually the tasks of Scrum Master on our projects. You will be probably facilitating some workshops and the inception phase of the project. So when we are planning everything, when we are setting up initial work with our clients, you will be supporting the project managers, learning how to manage projects, and acting as PMO roles. So project management office. You will support, and this will be kind of an important for you, an offer. So some of our offers, pre-sales and new business activities within different countries with different customers. So this involves everything from preparing RFP answers to actually going to the client and meeting with them to discuss the details of the future project. And how does the usual roles we have on a project? We have this role of a business analyst, which is just kind of the basis for what we do. And you will be acting as a kind of a communications bridge between IT team or project team and the business users. And by business users here, we mean people who will be actually using the software. You will be actually using the system and who have some needs for the software to fulfill. And as you are getting better as a business analyst, you get skilled in different parts of functional analysis, business process modeling. You will become a consultant. Consultant is a person first who can coordinate activities for one team and be kind of a lead for the team, either as far as the process and business needs go, or as a kind of a coordinator or Scrum Master. And we have few people involved as project managers. So those people are responsible for the end results of the product. They are responsible for the people, budget, and the tasks that are assigned on the project. And they are also kind of our engagement managers. So they are responsible for how we cooperate with a given customer, what kind of relations we have with the customer, and this basically is the role. And as far as the career path goes, the entry-level position is called business analyst, and this is where most people start in our company. And depending on your experience, you might become later senior analyst, business specialist. So this is kind of a specialization path if you want to become more and more an expert, a great business analyst in what you do. At some point, there might be an option to move to consultant position where you will be kind of an independently leading your team and also being an expert in a given area. And with some time, again, after gaining more experience, you might be going into a lead consultant role. So this is a project management already path. And I think now we'll move to Anna to tell you a bit more about our career and the recruitment you've been asking us so much in the chat so far.
Yes, exactly. We'll answer all those questions during our Q&A session. But now, thank you, Emil, thank you, Tomek, for this introduction. So we hope that it all sounds very interesting for you. And if you decide to join one of our teams, please check our career website, so career.solers.eu. But also all the news are available on our social medias, so check it out as well. And the good news is that our recruitment process is fully remote currently. So if you're interested, don't hesitate and apply. Okay, so what do you actually need to do to join one of our teams? So let's have a quick look at our recruitment process. Okay, so obviously at the beginning you need to apply. And let's have a look first at our recruitment process to business team. Once you apply your CV, your experience will be evaluated by one of our business recruiters. It means consultants, senior consultants. Then, depending on your experience, you will be invited to solve a case study, which is business case study, basically to be prepared, or for the initial phone interview, again with one of our colleagues from business team. Then we will, if it's going to be successful, then we'll invite you for 2 interviews. So the first one with our consultants, senior consultants, and the second one with one of our managers. So if you pass all those stages, then we welcome you on board. And how does it look like with IT recruitment process? So again, your CV will be evaluated by one of our developers, senior developers, the guys from IT team. And then depending on your experience, you will be invited to solve codility test that checks your programming skills, or for the phone interview with one of our developers. Then, if you pass the stage of the recruitment process, we will invite you for the interview with 1 or 2 of senior developers from our company, depending on your experience as well. And if you also went successfully from the interviews, then we invite you on board. And now let's move forward. Okay, so probably we will answer in this point some of your questions already asked in our Q&A chat box. But let's start with some general skills that are needed for all our teams, basically. So first of all, you need to speak English. As Emil and Tomasz said before, we are working with international clients. We also build international teams. So without English, it's not possible to really function. But all other languages are also a big plus. So especially German, French, and Japanese. Okay, so obviously there are also some other skills that are needed at Solars. So especially interest in IT, of course, or new technologies, but also good communication skills. And I will also use this opportunity to invite you for the next webinar that will happen on 20th of May, and will cover the topic of effective communication with the clients. So I think it's also a good opportunity to have a closer look on that topic. And again, we also have some other experience that we consider as a plus when you want to join Solars, which is obviously experience in project, IT environment, consulting or implementation, then financial market. So for example, insurance, banking, leasing, and of course, agile. And now you will get to know some more details about the skills that we are searching for in our candidates for business career path. And I'm passing my voice back to Emil.
Yeah, so basically what you might be looking for, so we might be looking for in the case of a business candidate, is mostly being able to analytically solve different complex problems and to present the results of your analysis is in a kind of a short and very logical form. And this is kind of a minimum thing that we are checking. This is something that we all need to be very good at to be able to work with our customers efficiently, and you need to be able to work with customers. So this is not just working with a usual project team. This is a project team where people might come from different backgrounds, from different companies. Some of them might be experts in claims processes, some of them might be IT experts, some of them might be database developers, some of them might be front-end developers, some of them might be a legal expert. And you will be asked to cooperate with those people. You will be asked for more senior positions to coordinate their work, to understand how they are working, to be able to create a team out of them. And on more of a kind of a basic thing, we need to be able to learn the new technologies and solutions quickly. A very common question for us is, do our business analysts need to be able to write software, to actually code? And you don't need to do that. If you are interested in new technologies and you did a little bit of coding on the side as a kind of a hobby at any point, this might be useful for you, and this is something you might be actually able to pick up in our company. So you might be able to pick up, for example, SQL queries or very advanced use of Excel, but this is not some Excel macros, but this is not something that we would require from you upfront. This is more of something that you can learn, and this is something that we want you to be willing to learn. So willing to work with the technology, willing to learn new solutions, and doing this quickly. And you need to be able to travel, because we want to work face-to-face with our customers, as already mentioned. And for the more experienced roles, and we want you to have understanding of how software development process looks. So what are the different stages, how the team, what are the team dynamics in software development, what kind of approaches you might be taking, looking at different possible troubles that you might be having for a team in a software development. We want you to understand very well how to functionally design IT solutions and how to lead their implementations. We want you to have professional experience in IT projects, and preferably for an insurance company or bank. And we want you to have understanding of more than just IT. You need to understand insurance processes, insurance business cases, and how those companies operate. And knowledge of Agile, Scrum, Kanban always helps. So if you used to be a Scrum Master or an Agile coach or worked in an Agile team before, this is also kind of a plus for us. But as mentioned, this second set of requirements is mostly for experienced candidates. And in the case of a consultant, we are usually looking for 3 or more years of professional experience in IT. For a business analyst, you might be just after studies or after your first internships, and you will do fine. And I think we'll move to IT candidates now, and off to Tomek.
Thanks, Emil. So first, I'd like to start with explaining that requirements you see on your left side are still valid for IT. They're the same for both teams. So yeah, language, interest in new technologies, experience in some frameworks like Agile, understanding financial market. This is always something we look for, but very important is good communication skills, because as I said before, IT team is not focusing on coding only. IT team needs to cooperate closely with the business team, with the customer, need to participate in defining requirements, estimating work, challenging the requirements. So I just wanted to emphasize that this is something we look for. This is something we teach in Solars. In terms of IT skills for junior candidates, we definitely look for people that learned object-oriented programming languages, studying or on their own, have a good understanding of object-oriented programming principles, have knowledge of software development best practices and standards, understand design patterns, are willing to learn new technologies and solutions, because this is something you can definitely learn in commercial usage of programming languages, not necessarily when you learn languages on your own. And ability to travel is also important. It's probably not as important as for the business team, but as Emil said, we value work face-to-face with customer. Customer often needs that kind of cooperation, that kind of meetings. So this is also important in terms of IT team, and it allows IT professionals to travel, to see many different countries. So this is also an opportunity. And understanding of software engineering processes, this is also important. Any commercial experience in programming languages, hands-on, some additional frameworks, that's a plus. But in terms of, in case of junior candidates, it's not mandatory. Okay, next slide, please. And now senior candidates. In general, the difference is that in case of senior candidates, we expect commercial experience. So the requirements are almost the same. We just expect that a candidate will prove that his experience counts, that he has hands-on experience in programming, he has hands-on experience in code reviews, understanding best practices and standards, hands-on experience using design patterns in implementation work. Again, ability to travel. This is important because in case of senior IT professionals, cooperation with the development team that is working on site at customer side is even more important. And in case of senior candidates, we expect some experience, some commercial experience with some frameworks like microservices, JMS, Spring, understanding web services, REST and SOAP. So proving that the experience counts. And a plus is always insurance domain experience, something we cannot expect from junior candidates, and system integration knowledge, understanding architecture. So junior candidates, it's more about knowledge, what person learned, and senior candidates, it's about proving that the commercial experience counts. Okay, back to Anya.
If I could ask for the next slide, perfect. So let's summarize a bit. So you know what we actually do, which projects we work on, about our internal, external projects, about our team's recruitment process. But Solars, it's not only about working. We build the teams on the projects, but also outside the projects. And we build the teams, but also the friendships. And Solars helps us doing that. So we spend time together on the amazing integration events that you can see here on the pictures. We do some sport together. Okay, I think I was off for a second, so I'll continue with CSR events. We participate also in CSR events all together, and we enjoy as well some breaks in our chill out rooms during our board games or playing FIFA, which you can also see on the pictures above, and yes, also board games, of course. And now let's move to the next slide. And we also never stop growing. So at Solars, we enjoy our clear career path. So that the fact that we can have the vision for our future path, future positions. We also enjoy our training budget that allows us to take part in many trainings that are interesting for us, or participate in some conferences that you can also see in the pictures, and much more. I think that we'll talk a bit more about knowledge sharing and about our development during the Q&A session, because I've seen that one of the questions regarding this topic already also appeared. So let's move to the last slide. Building the teams, working efficiently, and also developing on the daily basis wouldn't be, of course, possible without the environment that we have at Solars. And even though we were prepared for working fully remotely during the current situation, I think that we can all agree that we miss the time when we were able to meet all together in the company kitchen to grab a cup of coffee or tea all together. So here you can also see some impressions from our offices, and I hope that you can feel the atmosphere a little bit at least. So that was basically our presentation, what we prepared for you. And now we would like to move to Q&A session. But if you still have some questions that you didn't ask yet, please feel free to write them in our Q&A chat box. In the meantime, I will start with the first one that we can see here. Recruitment process in our company, I think that we got it covered already. So what skills, experiences are you looking for in potential employees in terms of business analyst? Is experience necessary to joining your business? I think, Emil, that you covered almost all of this question.
But if you, maybe to reiterate, what skills, experience are we looking for? We are looking for people who have understanding of finance, who have maybe worked in an insurance company or bank, but this is not a hard requirement. This is not a need. So you can join our business team straight away after studies, but you need to prove us that you are indeed interested in new technologies, that you are indeed interested in financial sector, that you have understanding of about how IT projects look, and you will do fine for an entry-level business analyst. For more advanced positions, you need to have experience leading teams and coordinating activities, designing solutions during the kind of an implementation projects.
Thank you, Emil. So let's move forward to the next question. How much time does it usually take to wait for a response once you've applied? Do you get back to all of the candidates or only to the selected ones? Okay, I think I can start, but Emil, Tomek, as you are also involved in the recruitment processes, please feel free to add any additional notes here. We come back to all of our candidates at all the stages of the recruitment process. So this is our general rule, and we try to do it as soon as possible. Of course, we give ourselves like up to 3 working days. Sometimes, of course, some unexpected topics appears, and we have a little delay, but we try to do it as fast as possible. Emil, do you want to add something?
Yeah, so the usual timeline, because I see there's another new question around that. The usual timeline is within few days after an interview or sending in a CV, we are trying to give you an answer. So in some specific cases, either very extensive experience, for example, when checking CV, or any kind of event that might affect that, it might take a bit longer. For us, usually this is within 1 week time after each step of the recruitment process.
One comment from me. So that's correct. You need to take into consideration the fact that the recruitment process is run by every Solars employee. So developers, specialists, designers, architects on the business team, consultants, managers, everyone is involved in that process. In the meantime, they're working on projects, so they're involved in some other activities at the same time, and this is why it takes that much time. We know that this is always area for improvement. We try to respond in faster time, but it's not always possible. So if you're waiting for a response, please be patient. We're responding to everyone. It just sometimes takes time to organize a meeting, to get the feedback from someone, because that person may be busy with something else.
Yeah, and maybe one more thing. We try to give you a response every time. And if you didn't get a response from us for, let's say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks time, you probably can reach out to us and ask us a question to basically give us a status update, because this shouldn't be happening. And this means that maybe your message, for example, is waiting for you in spam folder, because this happens very often. And
Yes, and thank you, Emil. I would also add one thing. So we have the address, email address for our candidates, which is job@solars.eu. So I'll also share it with you on our chat box. So if it happened that you didn't get the answer or you have some questions, you can reach out to us as well.
So I think I can take the next one already, because this is about internal initiatives for learning and development of consultants and professionals. So maybe the first answer here is that we believe that the best way to become a better consultant or a better project manager is to actually work on those projects and to take part in them and work with a team of people who are willing to learn and willing to experiment with you. So you will learn a lot just working on the projects, but we understand this obviously not enough, and you need to have your own specific trainings, your own specific training budget, and this is for every position in Solars. There's a specific list of trainings. Some of them are more obligatory side, some of them might be kind of a choose one out of few of those, and you have a pool of the budget in both time and money that you can spend on your own development. Outside of that, we are also supporting our people being involved in conferences and industry events. We are also supporting you in learning different languages. So by both giving you some, let's say, benefits if you do language courses externally, but also offering you language courses within the company. So if you want to learn further German or Japanese, in this case, I think German and French are being learned within our office, and this is something we are supporting you in.
Thank you, Emil. I think that we can move now to the next one. How about support functions? So obviously the company couldn't work without the support teams. Today on the webinar, we focused on our IT and business teams and the role on the projects, but we also hired our support teams. The open position for IT and business, they're usually all the time available on our website, and the recruitment processes to support teams depend on our current needs. But you can see if there are any open position on our career website, so career.solars.eu, and apply for the available ones.
Yeah, so maybe one thing here, if you look into our webpage on solars.eu, you will see that a lot of positions are being opened for a very long time. And this doesn't mean that we are looking for one person for a very long time. It means that we are recruiting multiple people to join us as analysts, consultants, developers. And because we have this kind of a need, the company is growing. We have more and more projects that we need people to support us in and to work with us in. And so this is something we call open recruitment. So if you are good enough to become one of our business analysts or developers, we will find that work for you, and we want you as a part of Solars, and we'll have projects for you.
Thank you, Emil. Let's move to the next question. So can we apply both for IT and business analyst position?
Okay, I can try to address this one. Yes, you can apply for both. But on the early stage of the recruitment process, we always try to figure out what's the best one for you. So you cannot go through entire recruitment process in both career paths. But if you're not decided, if you're not sure what's best, we can help you decide, because you cannot be employed on both. In both career paths at the same time, so this needs to be resolved before we end the recruitment process. And because the process is different, because the people you meet with to discuss your experience, your knowledge, they're different. We need to establish that on the early stage of recruitment process.
Yes, thank you very much, Tomek. So let's move to the next question. Is it possible to transfer internally to the offices in other countries, or there is only option of project-based business travels? Second question, does company offer some opportunities to develop language skills if the second language skills are on the intermediate level?
So maybe I can pick this one up. So
okay.
As far as internal mobility between offices goes, so within different offices in Poland, this is possible. This is something that's happening for some people who've been with us for some time and they want to live in a different city. There's something we can arrange upon, and we have a lot of people who moved from Warsaw office to Poznań, from Poznań office to Warsaw, from Lublin office to Poznań, and so on. For both our office in Cologne at this point and office in Tokyo, we require almost native or proficient or close to native ability to speak given language. So in order to join our office in Cologne, you would need near to native German, basically. And we can think about it, and there are some people who have relocated with us from our Polish offices to German office for example, a year or two, or some more long term. In Japanese case, I don't think this happened yet, but it might happen in the future. It's just more of a, and I think the second question, develop languages if the second language skills are on intermediate level. We actually, we very rarely offer language courses from zero level. We want you to, if we are, most of the language courses that we have internally in the office are from intermediate level up to proficient.
Thank you, Emil. Let's move to the next question. Okay, again about the recruitment process. So timeline of the recruitment process, how long it takes to get results after first phone interview and the next ones. So I also think that we covered this topic a bit. So we usually try to give the answer in few working days. If you didn't get the answer yet, please contact us on our job mailbox.
Yeah, I think the one exception here is after the final interview. So in case of business, the second interview, it might take a few days longer because we are basically making a final decision there, and sometimes we need to involve our senior management in that, and this might take a day or two longer, basically. But it should be also within a week and a half or so. In cases like
exactly. Do I understand that it always is a response when whether you are proceeding to the interview task phase or not? Yes, you should always receive the feedback from us. So again, if you didn't receive it, please contact us. But usually, I mean, we really take care of that process that all our candidates can receive the answer. Okay, something about traveling currently. So how much travel might be required in case of the junior business consultant position with proficient English and German knowledge?
Okay, I'll take this one again. So it really depends on the project, because on some projects you might be traveling like 50%. Probably not at this moment, because at this moment the whole company is working remotely. We all work from home, also with our customers. But as things get back to normal, as things shuttle, as we are available for travel again, we will probably expect the business team to travel around, depending on the project phase, between 50 and 25% of their time. And if you know German, if you have proficient German knowledge, you can probably expect those business trips and projects to be related with German, because we are very actively looking for people with proficient German right now.
Thank you, Emil. Okay, so let's move to the last question. External projects versus internal project.
Yes, sorry, I can take this one. Our goal is always to staff professionals on external projects, but it depends on the needs. When we start the project, We always need the team. We need to build the team for that project. If we would have only external projects, that would be always first choice. Internal projects are something in between external projects. So whenever you finish one engagement and you're waiting for the another engagement, you are staffed on internal project and you help build the knowledge base. You help collect information on the customer, gather some research information, help with developing internal tools. But that's between external projects. We're a project company. We focus on delivering value to our customers. So this is always the first choice. So external project is always a priority for us. Internal projects is something in between external projects.
And at this point, probably 80% or more of people in the business and IT teams are involved in external projects. And the criteria are being mostly project needs and your skill set, but also your preferences at some level, because we always try to combine those two things.
Okay, I think that we answered all the questions. So if there are not any more, I think that we can slowly come to the end of this meeting.
Thank you very much, everyone, and hope you have a nice evening.
Yes, thank you very much also from my side. And I would also like you to ask again to fulfill the survey that we sent you before.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you very much.